What's up, Scorpio? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a new moon tarot reading for the new moon coming up on June 6th. This new moon is going to be at 16 degrees Gemini. It is going to be at 8:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will put it in the 6th mansion of the moon. Now, you're probably thinking, the 6th month on the 6th day in the 6th mansion of the moon? 666, oh God. What does that mean? It's not evil. But people that are superstitious think it's evil. If you study alchemy, if you study magic, go look at the magic square of the sun. It equals the sides when you add them up 111 equals 666 because it's the sun. When you see the famous people throwing up their 666, they're telling you that they are a star. Because they're in the upper echelons of humanity, they have lots of influence, therefore they know that everything is astrotheology. Everything is astrological. Even all the famous people, everything, they're all throwing up their astrology sign. They're saying, I am the sun, I am a star, I am a shining light, a shining star. 666 is the middle vibration of 9, which is pure light, which is the light of the sun. Now, that also being said, in the study of the rays, which is deep esoteric knowledge, the first ray is that of the sun. It cannot manifest purely through a human on our planet because it is a purely destructive in and of itself. It's creative and destructive, but it's very powerful. It's like Icarus. If you fly too close to the sun, you will burn. But it can manifest itself mercurially, that which is closest to the sun and is always illuminated. And with the astrology right now, with this being in Gemini, which is the mercurial sign, or one of them, it's conjunct the sun, or the sun's conjunct the moon and Venus in Gemini. For Scorpio ascendant, that will be taking place if you're ascendant Scorpio, your 7th or 8th house. Now, 7th house is the house of one-on-one relationships, or your spouse. That was the card. So, you would think with Venus touching the sun and the moon, that's very loving energy. The only issue being it's square Saturn. Saturn delays things. Saturn blocks things. So if there was communications around love and romance and this type of thing, they're probably going to be taken the wrong way, or they're going to be delayed in some way because that's what Saturn does. If it is your 8th house, well, that's our house. That is Scorpio's house, house of death, sex, transformation. There could be some kind of communication around sex, but it might not be taken in the right way. You may be trying to give subtle hints, or somebody might be giving it to you, but you're like, or you may just decide in general that you don't want to, because Saturn will block it. You don't want to communicate those things. Also, Mars is touching Pluto in a square. That is rage touching anger. It's never a good combination. So it can be very passionate, strong, argumentative energy around right now because Gemini is all about communication, learning, siblings, brothers and sisters, children, that type of thing. So there could be communications around those subjects. I would just be careful of it turning into anger because now those two planets are touching each other in a square. They're not really touching the conjunction between the sun, the moon, and Venus. Mars is, but it's a semi-sextile, which is a minor aspect. Now, it's still touching it, okay, but it just won't be as strong of an influence. So it's something that can be easily overcome. I mean, all this can be overcome. It's just your level of awareness of it and when it manifests. That's what consciousness is. That's what the light of consciousness is. It's your ability to learn and know all these things when they manifest, and therefore you can choose to allow them to manifest in specific ways because you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge. But anyway, 7th house and 8th house. So if you're a Scorpio ascendant, so just, your one-on-one relationships or your spouse, it can be very romantic and sexual even, which is very good. But with Saturn touching it, it can be delayed or repressed in some way. Like you want to communicate this or you want to do this, but you don't because Saturn's like, nah. But that's your choice. If you know about it, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't, or even just like you're communicating with someone you want to date or you want to be involved with, you choose not to simply because you'll find an excuse, but that's really just Saturn's influence, wanting to delay it or block it. But either way, that's all I have, Scorpio, for the astrology aspect of it. Let's do your cards now. You had the answers you need are coming. That's always good. And that'll be different for different Scorpios. You're all Scorpio, different Scorpio sun, different Scorpio moon, ascendant, whatever. And you're all living different lives. And you're all unique expressions. Looks like it has to do with love or a relationship. At least that's the overarching energy. This was the card. Your answers you need are coming. The core of the reading is being defensive, but it's crossed by the Magician. So some kind of manifestation. If you want to create, if you want to have what you want, or you want to create or manifest something, don't be so defensive. It'll keep you from your manifestation. Let your guard down, basically is what I'm saying. I'm a Scorpio too. I'm a Scorpio sun. I have a lot in Scorpio. I have the sun there, Saturn there, Venus there, Pluto there. So I understand the defensiveness of Scorpio. Always keeping up the shell, always testing people, always on guard, one way or the other. So, let your guard down a little bit. It'll help you in your manifestation. In the recent past, looks like you've been really holding on to your money or worrying about money. This could be in your relationship too. Maybe you and your partner have both been. And for those that are single, maybe you're just worried about money in general. Who isn't, right? You're crowned by a message of money. Some kind of message is coming in saying there's some kind of resource or some kind of opportunity that can come forth for you. So be open to that. Don't have your guard up. Be open to listening. You know what I mean? In the unconscious, you have new love, or an idea of new love, or wanting to be more loving, or to offer your love out in a specific way, or somebody may offer it to you. This unconscious influence, something you're probably thinking about, manifesting in a different way. My dog's running because the thunder. It's thundering outside. Poor baby. In the near future, is going to be something sudden happens. Doesn't have to be bad. People like to think that the tower is always bad, but it's something sudden. It also could just be really bad inclement weather. We've been having a lot of bad weather, and hurricane season has started. For those of you that are in coastal areas where hurricanes hit, I used to live in the coastal area. I moved away from it because how many hurricanes hit. I would suggest this year is going to be a very bad hurricane year. I don't know how many are going to hit us, like in the States, but it's going to be a bad hurricane. It's going to be a lot of them. So if they say evacuate, evacuate. If it's even just tornadoes or bad weather, it's been tearing through everybody. Do what you need to do to be safe. Don't ignore it. You know what I mean? But it could just be something that happens out of nowhere. Some kind of communication that comes out of nowhere. Most likely it's communication about money. And this could change things a lot. It could even cause arguments, right? Because of money. People like to argue about money. If it's in your relationship, it could be a bill that came out of nowhere, but at the same time, it can be like resources that came out of nowhere. And you're just trying to decide how you want to spend it, right? Or what the priority should be for the money, or the new opportunity, like for a new job, and maybe came out of nowhere. Maybe you have to travel or something like this, or it displaces you in some way. You have to move from your home, or your home was damaged from weather or storms or something like this, and you're going to receive money for it. But the decision about what to do with the money, whether you repair your home or you move or something like that, could be causing this kind of squabbling. Either way, it's some kind of something that happens sudden, and it seems to involve money in some way, and it's causing tension. Because in the recent past, you've had to hold on to your money, but maybe you don't have to now, and you're trying to figure out how to use the resources optimally. In your environment, happy like the fool, new opportunity, new situation, new journey. Okay, that could be the thing. Like, this may give you the opportunity to do something new, or in a new way, like something you've always wanted to do. And to do this, like, you may have to change everything in your life. You may have to break it all down to the ground, crash it down, to live this new life that you want, because now you have these resources, or now you have this opportunity that you can live this new life. But you have to burn everything to the ground to kind of do it, or it's going to do that. It's going to upset the apple cart majorly. But that's normal for Scorpios. We do that. We burn things to the ground and rebuild them. We are the Reaper. 13th card, Death. It's the Reaper. The number 13 is represented Scorpio, and it also represents the scythe in numerology, or the Reaper. The reaping, it cleans everything out. It isn't necessarily bad, but it clears everything out so that new can be rebuilt. That's why Scorpios are all about transformation, burning things to the ground and rebuilding them. That's what we do, and we're good at it. We can handle the conflict better than anyone because we're built for it. This is the advice. Now, it could be a female or a male in your life that's a water sign that comes out of nowhere. And this may be kind of what your path takes, but it could also be you, it could be me, right? It could just be us. It's saying, hey, do you in the way that you want to do it. But it could also be there's a water sign that comes out there that may be a good match for you. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, either way. But the outcome, I always look at the nights as moving forward. Now, some of you could have like Sagittarius cusp or something like this, and you have fire, or you have fire in your chart. And you should be moving forward. It could be with a fire sign. It could be that it's saying be yourself, and then this fire sign will come into your life, or this new opportunity, something you're passionate about, or doing what you want to do in the way that you want to do it, because now you have the resources to do it. Maybe you didn't have that before, and so you were living your life a specific way because it seemed most practical and what was best to like for resources and for comfortability and for being able to just get by in life. But now you don't have to do that anymore. This may give you the opportunity to do things the way you want to do them, in the way you want to do them. But what that does is upsets the apple cart. It turns everything upside down because you're like, look, I want to do, maybe you've been doing for everyone else your whole life, or you've been taking care of other people. And Scorpios do that. When Scorpios care about someone, they are very loyal. When they open up and they let the guard down and they let you in, you're in for life. Scorpios don't give that up, but almost to a fault. Scorpios will give up everything for these people. If they attach to you, they're gonna give you everything, and that can be a detriment. And then maybe you get to the point where you're like, you know what? Maybe I have just given so much, and I haven't really done anything for myself. And you're like, you know what? I'm bringing it down, and I'm gonna go do what I want, finally. But it's gonna be like, it's not gonna go over well. I mean, how could it? I mean, if you've been giving someone all these things or people all this help and support, people don't like to lose that, even if they take it for granted. And generally, Scorpios don't care. They're like, if you're in, you're in. I don't care that if I'm giving it all and you're not really giving much. Scorpios generally don't care. They're just super loyal to a fault. If they let you in, it's very hard to get in. But if you get in, you're in for life. And maybe you just like, you know what? I need to do what I need to do for me. Finally, I'm going to do something for me. I've sacrificed, I've given, now I'm going to do for me. And that's probably not going to go over so well. But, can't blame you. The answers are coming, and you're going to have this opportunity to do what it is that you want. And it's going to be up to you to decide. And that's probably going to be a tough decision because you're going to have to choose. I mean, love's coming either way. My guess is, like, if you stay where you're at, you're going to be with people that you love and that care about you. Or if you take this new journey, you're going to find love anyway, because honestly, that's kind of the life of Scorpios. We're water signs. We're going to be wrapped up in emotional things our whole lives, just the way it works. Of course, it depends on the whole natal chart, too. If you're heavy Scorpio, to be that way. And there generally be some kind of conflict around it, too, just because we're the middle water sign, so that's just kind of how it goes. And we're in that specific spot of the zodiac where it's like lesser mysteries to the greater mysteries. So you have to go through conflict. Just the way it works. Okay, that's all I have, Scorpio. Please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and hitting the bell. I notice people aren't making their way back to the channel because they're waiting for recommended on their main page, and it's not going to really recommend my channel because I'm such a small channel. But if you hit the notification bell every time I upload, which is on the new moon and the full moon, because I base everything on astrology, because that's what it should be, then you won't miss any of my uploads. But either way, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just grateful for you to be here, Scorpio. I'm grateful for the view. Happy new moon.